maybe a little bit of how-to, though, who am I to teach anybody anything but the basics? So that's our plan, is to teach the basics. Now, we'll start with the easy puzzle. So the easy puzzle is designed to be easy. And what does that mean? It just means it requires less memorization. We'll go with that. Memorization. Now, one thing you need to do when you play Sudoku is realize it's just a process of elimination game. So right here, this can only be a 1 because this is 1 through 9 in the box, so 1 through 9 in a straight line. So every box has to have the numbers 1 to 9, and every straight line has to have 1 to 9. And since there's only 3 open boxes and one has to be 1, you can't have more than one 1 there. So that has to be a 1. So, okay, pretty straightforward. Let's go ahead and burn through some of this real fast. I usually give myself a 5-minute timer, or 5-minute deadline to do an easy one. But because we are talking, probably gonna take a little bit longer than that. The next one is this 3. You see the 3s on the top rows? You got a 3 in the middle and the 3 on the right. And because of that, this one has to be a 3. Okay, pretty straightforward. And the next one, the 3 is going to be here because the 3s are blocked out in the middle on the left, and on the right, the 3s, because this bottom one is blocked out, the only bottom in the middle column, the middle boxes, is that 3. That's the only available space for a 3. Okay, so let's keep going. That's the only place for a 3 right now. Let's move on to the 4. So right here, the 4 on the left box in the middle blocks out all the other spots. So this one has to be a 4 because there has to be a 4 in every one. And next 4 has to be here because there's no 4 in the rest of that straight line across the top. So there has to be a 4 there. And it can't be those other 2 spots because the 4 is down below block those spots. Okay, excuse me. So there's more than one way to what do you call eliminate certain things, but you have to go with what you see. So now I got a 5 right here because the 5 in the bottom blocks the other spot, and the only number that's left is the 4 here. Okay, and what you might want to do is when you reveal like this 5 there, you can see what that eliminates. You can see the 5 down below in the middle blocks all those spots, and that 5 blocks everything on the left, so this one has to be a 5. Okay, what's next here? So on the bottom, this is the only spot left for a 5. And in the top, has to be a 5 right here because it can be no other spot, which leaves us to be a 7. So now here, the second row, it's missing a 1 and a 2. Right? Well, this box on the right is missing a 1, 2, and a 6. So this one has to be a 6. Now, obviously, that's not the only way you could have figured that out, but that was one way. This one has to be a 1 because the one above it and the one below block everything else. So it's good to be kind of methodical about it. See, the 9s block everything else there. Have a pattern. The 9s on the right and middle box block everything except for that. And that means this is a 9 and this is a 2. With the 2s taken. Are those all the 2s? Almost. Almost. So we don't know for sure where the last 2 2s are. So what are we at here? 3. Well, in the middle rows, this is the only 3 that's available. Next is oh, I'm sorry. Well, this one has to be what? It has to be a 6 because it's the only number missing in that line. And you have a 3, a 4, and an 8. Can we eliminate anything? Well, I know this one has to be a 3. And the 8 and the 4, this one has to be a 4, and this one has to be an 8. Because up on the top is a 4, and down below, what? There's an 8 and a 4 over here, so it can't be. I think. Well, look, I could be making mistakes. Mistakes happen. It's all a part of playing the game. But this one has to be a 7 because only a 3 and a 7 are missing in this top line. And this one, what's missing? The 6 once again. Okay. What else are we missing at this point? Well, we know what this one is. 100% has to be another 6 because there's no 6 in that line. Now you can look in here and you can see we're missing a 7 and an 8. This one has to be 7. This one has to be an 8 based upon what was missing in the long line. So this one in the middle row is fairly easy. We're missing a 1, a 2, and a 5 in the middle right column, middle right box, right? So that means we're missing once again the 6 here. And what else are we missing here? We got a 6. We have 2 6s down the middle columns. So that's the only place left for a 6. What else are we missing? We're missing a 4 and a 3. So this one has to be a 3. This one has to be a 4. Right? And because of the other 4s in the columns, that one is there. What are we missing now? We're missing one number here. It's just the 1. We're missing a 7. So this one must be a 1, and this one must be a 7. Okay, so we're coming down to the end. We know this one is full, and it's missing a 1. This one and this one will have opposite ones, right? So what are we missing? We got a 1 here, and we've got a 2. This one will have a 2 and a 5. So there you go. So not too bad. Actually, before we start that, so that's not too bad. That's how you do a Sudoku on the easy level. Now, for those of you interested in the medium level, the New York Times medium is what I would consider a hard if you're just doing it in your brain. Like if you're not writing down the numbers or anything like that, if you're not keeping track of what they call the candidates. What's the available numbers? What are the potential numbers for any spot? So let's go ahead and start this. Now for the medium, I give myself a 15-minute time limit, generally speaking, but since we are talking this through, it's going to take a little bit longer. Now say they have this thing, it's called auto candidate mode. And what that does is shows you all the numbers that could potentially be there. And there's ways that they eliminate that. And you can see right off, there's certain ones that only have one number. So using this, it becomes much less hard. So this is, at this point, I think is a medium rating is fair for that. But like I said, you can just go ahead and if there's only one number available, well, obviously that's what the number is. Right now, you don't need to necessarily turn it on. If you need that challenge, if you want it to be harder, don't turn it on. Just do it without it. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong. You want these to be challenging. Try it for yourself. I honestly was a little bit embarrassed when I first tried it because look, my mind just isn't as sharp as it once was. I'm not a young man anymore. I can't remember every single number, that it potentially could be, and then count them down in my brain. I have to actually, I need a little bit of help. That's okay. So there you go. So now, once you get down to this point, you're going to be relying on these candidate numbers to start eliminating things, and it'll it'll take a little while to figure out how to do that. What makes sense, what doesn't make sense. You have to come up with different schemes along the way of doing that. So it's not easy. It's it's not hard. It's a process of elimination, and with experience, you can figure out different techniques that will get you where you need to go, if that's what you're interested in. So let's take a look here. One of the things I like to look for at this stage, first of all, I like to run all the numbers from 1 to 9 to see if I can eliminate anything easily. Because surprisingly, as you can see, we just filled out a bunch of numbers, even though it's a hard puzzle, without really doing much. I mean, it basically told us these are the only potential candidates. So, and that's what going through the numbers kind of does for you when you do it. You're just looking for simple things that allow you to eliminate numbers. Let's see here. I don't see anything. I'm up to 4 as I'm talking, and 5, 5, 5. Don't see anything yet. I'm just trying to, you're still going to have to do some memorization along the way. It'll help you, figure things out. You're not memorizing everything. 8. Okay, I don't see anything that's sticking out as an obvious one. And I am up to 9. Okay, so here's a good one. Here's a good example of, well, no, that's not a good example because it could still potentially be it. I'm trying to find you one that, what I try to do is find one that has the same candidates left. Preferably only 2. Ta-ta-ta. Of course, I don't see anything at the moment. I don't want to pretend. I want you to see a real world example of that. So here's a nice one. Okay, so in the bottom row, in the middle boxes, on the far left, The only 8 that's available in that line is right here. So that has to be an 8, right? That's something that you have to be able to recognize, especially on these medium and harder puzzles. And that also gives us an 8 right here. So as you do this, it should eliminate other things as you do it. Right? So like here is another spot for an 8 is right here, and that should clear all the 8s. So just like that, we got rid of all the 8s. You know, it wasn't, it just noticing like what is possible and what isn't possible. So here's a great one. The top row in the middle boxes. On the left, you have a 1 and a 2, and on the far right box, you have a 1 and a 2. Right? So there has to be a 1 or a 2 in both of those, which means there can't be a 2 in this middle. It has to be a 9. As long as we've done everything properly up to that point, that is a 9. Okay? So there you go. That's just something to think about. That's what you're kind of looking for at this level of the game. If you can find a few of those, it will make your life easier. You need decent eyes. My eyes are not that great. Let me turn up the brightness a little bit. There we go. That definitely makes it easier to see. Let's see, 7, 6, 2 and a 3. No, that's a 3 and a 3. Oh, see, that's interesting there. Yeah, here's a perfect example too. Well, this one I should have just figured out because every once in a while you need to go through and rerun the numbers. This one is 1 because the 1s block it off. And I saw that not because of that, but because that's the only candidate where a 1's available. But you see there's a 1 here and a 1 here. One or 2. So here's an interesting one. In the very top middle row, the far left is the 1 is blocked out, right? There can't be a 1 or 1 there or 1 there. This is the only place a 1 can be. So if you can see that, great. But all the other ones were blocked out. You know, if you're playing along, feel free, grab the New York Times game app and yeah, I set it up for free. I only get the free version of it, but do as you will. Play along; you'll be able to catch up very quickly. We haven't made it that deep into it. We're 11 minutes into this medium. We're only in the medium puzzle. So talking these through does slow down the pace, but it's okay. I'm enjoying myself. So that knocks out the 2s. We got a 2 here. So here you go, the 2s. The 2s are, I can see where another 2 is, maybe. Let's see here. So what are we looking at? In the upper right, the only spot for the 2's is in the third column. In the upper left, I'm sorry, in the upper left. So if we take out the spots for the 2, what do we have here? There's no 2 there, there's no 2 there. So it has to be the bottom 2 spots. Is that helpful? Does that help us in any way? Let's see. Well, knowing those 2 are 2's helps a little bit, maybe. Yeah, so this is how it helps us. So we know that there can't be a 2 on the far left box. On the left box, there can't be a 2 in that column because there has to be a 2 in the right, in the left box, third column. There has to be a 2 there. So that takes that 2 out. So this has to be a 1. This has to be a 2. Okay? And this has to be a 2 because the 2 is on the left there. So we eliminate a few more there. This has to be a 4. This has to be a 1. And this is just what it's telling me is available because it eliminates the numbers that it can't possibly be based upon what you have in the simple terms. So we know this is 2, 3, and 5. 2, 3, and 5. So we know there has to be 3's here. Has to be 4's there. Okay, I don't know if that's really helping us too much. Like I said, every once in a while, you just run through the numbers if you get stuck. 1, 4, and 7. So here you go, the third row down. We have a 4 and a 7 and a 4 and 7. This has to be a 1. Right? I mean, it had to be either way because of the 2 ones below it. But the ones are now eliminated. So that leaves a 4 and a 7. So one good thing about that 4 and 7, once again in the upper left box, the 4's have to be in that third column. There's a 4 in the middle column, so this one has to be a 4. And then this one has to be a 4. And then this one, no, not yet. But this one has to be a 3. So that cleared up a bunch of stuff at once. So we haven't gotten quite to the point where we're just filling in numbers, but we're moving along. I got 4 and 7, 4 and 7, 4 and 2. Okay, so this has to be a 4, right? Nope, it doesn't have to be a 4. That has to be a 4. Okay, as we work our way through this, what are we looking at? The 4's we're good with. let's start with, oh, ones are done, so we don't need to run through the ones. We run through the twos real fast to make sure we're not missing anything obvious with the twos. Now I do see twos will only be in the middle. So we can eliminate some numbers here, like this cannot have a 2 in it, so we can erase it that like that. So a little bit helpful, it get rid of a number for us, a candidate. So 5 and 3, looking for 4 and 2. So we know there's a 4 here. So if you look, we can see what? I thought we had a 7 there for a second, but we do not. We do not have a 7. Okay, no, that that color is distracting me. It's making me miss things. Let's see. Five. I'm just looking for duplicates. Duplicate candidate cells that are lined up either as a box or as a 4 and 7, 4 and 7. Okay, I think we found a 3. I think we found a 3. I think it has to be right here. I'm going to double check. There's no other spot a 3 can be in there, so this has to be a 3. Then make this a 2. This has to be a 5. So, and this one has to be a 5 as well. And 4 and a 5. I see a 6 and a 4. I see a 3 and a 7. A 9. 6, 9. A 4 and a 5. And a 9 and a 7. And a 3 and a 6. So as you can see, once you kind of cross a threshold, the lines, they just kind of fall into line for you. So, 6, 3, 6. Now, like I said, in my eyes, I have failed at this if I was doing this without trying to be helpful because it took 20 minutes. But, I'm hoping, I can help others enjoy. So anyways, that's going to be it for Sudoku for now. I thank you for watching. We're going to jump on to, what were we going to do? Oh, we're going to do a quick elevate. So this is just basically like brain teasers almost. Oops, I'm trying to move my face. I don't know how I was down there. Oh, shoots. Ah, we missed an easy one. That's all right. Can't get them all. Look at that drop off. Make one little mistake. Oh, these are tough. This legs is miss. Is is not known. Unknown? Enough is one speedy answer. Eh. Oh, these are kind of tough. Sears. Ooh. Immensity. Oh. It wasn't pretty. It wasn't pretty. But it never is. What do we want to do? One more thing. Today's solitaire? We always like to end on a nice solitaire to do the nice daily challenge. I do feel like I'm missing something. Oh, all right. Well, we missed that for a little bit. I think there was a 3 of clubs in there somewhere. I don't think that 5 really helps me too much, so I'm not going to use it. Now that 5 could help if I can get the 3. Oh, what was I missing? What am I missing here? I got a 9. There's the 8s. So I might have to make another trip around to get that 8. All the kings are out. And I need a black king. So red 6, 8, 7. So that was nice. Oh, I thought we had the 5 of diamonds somewhere. There's the 5 of diamonds. 6 and 7 diamonds. The game is essentially won with that. That's won. It's over. What are we doing? Oy, oy, oy. Oh, I didn't see that. That's my fault. Now it's won. All right. And that's how you solitaire. That's how you solitaire.